Speed racer. So this has the dynamics in it, as you can see, where it'll firm up. You can put, push this button. It'll make it firm, sport, or comfort. And then you've got your, oh man, I've done something wrong button in case you're gonna land hard. You can hit that and it stiffens up the suspension. So that is one thing that I really like that this machine has. It has a bunch of suspension modes that are just directly at your fingertips, where that, Xpedition, you've got to turn the knob on the shock. So each shock you got to go around and push the button. This actually holds you back on the hill really well with the engine. I'm gonna have to hit the brakes because he's literally going 1 mile an hour. He's a little bit nervous. It's so funny watching him on that 50. I absolutely love that. My dad always got me four-wheelers and kept me riding and stuff, but he didn't ride with me a lot, and I always wanted him to, and so I'm always riding with my son and taking him places and stuff, which we can't video at all. But what we do get to video, it's always a fun time watching him.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promise.
This machine's extremely smooth. I hadn't been in a two-seater RZR in a long time. The last one I was in was a 1000 XP, and this just seems night and day better than that. Very, very easy to see where you're, going through in this and stuff, especially compared to the Xpedition. That's the one thing that you're going to have to get used to, is you've got to be able to judge your fenders and stuff. And that's one of the things on these machines. Your tires stick out way farther than your fenders and stuff. And on that Xpedition, even with a 5+2, my side of my doors and everything sticks out really close to the actual machine. And so, if your tire's into it, the side of your machine's into it. Whereas this one, your tires can go into it, and you're not going to hit your machine. And I've rubbed that Xpedition up against so many different things, but I can already tell in this how the difference is going to be. So what we're going to do, normally we can still do it over here, and we'll showcase it. I'll go off. As you can see over here, we've got this dip right here. It's about 2.5 foot tall, maybe 2 3/4 foot tall to the highest part. And this lets them get off camber if they will, but I'm gonna bring it all the way up here to the lip. Usually I've got 2 tire marks that I follow down through there, but I'm gonna bring it all the way up here to the curve and take it off and try to get it off camber at the hardest point. And I'll show you guys that on both these machines. Put them both in 4-wheel drive just so they're pulling themselves, which I doubt. I don't think this machine is even going to lift a tire. That one we'll see, but you see what I'm talking about? My tires are the same width as my fender flares. My mirrors stick out further than that, whereas this one, you see how much further your tire is out? So you've got so much more clearance to where you can judge, and you're not going to get the side of your machine and stuff. And where that really helps on these machines, for anybody that don't know, if you're trying to wonder about transition on the East Coast, when the top of your roof kicks over, you know, from the machine teetering, a lot of times you land into trees and stuff and hit your roof line. And on this Xpedition, you've got a bunch of glass. So you've got to be a lot more careful on the trails with the Xpedition than you do one of these. Over here, this is where you're going to get your kick up. You guys see the rear tire. Now, I can tell you in this, that Xpedition is going to feel real wonky doing it, because this, I can already feel the body kind of rolling a little bit. So we'll see once it drops off there. Was that tire off the ground at all ever? Was it? Okay. Is that tire off? That tire still ain't off the ground?
Nope.
Showcase the other side too. And I would say when I get to this point in the Xpedition, I'm gonna have to gun it and go, or I'll teeter over. Back up so they get a good view.
They got a good view.
Okay, don't be right up on the machine. That way they can see all the tires and everything.
Alright.
So like I was saying, in that machine, that has way more wheel travel, which lets it go on that terrain and be able to not bring its tires up as far. Now this machine is even 1 inch wider, and with the 6+1, and it only has about 15 to 16 maximum travel compared to 20 and 22 on this. So we're gonna see on this how much that one shifts. I bet it, like I said, this isn't a gnarly piece, but you can literally topple a machine over if you get it too off camber. And what a lot of people don't understand is that is very, very top heavy in comparison to that machine. I mean, even weight wise, this is 1,000 pounds more, and it's got all that glass. So I'm going to show you guys the difference in it. Does it look?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I guess.
It's so much longer though, it's different, you know?
Right. That's one of the pluses of having a longer machine.
It's on the ground now. The tire's
Yeah,
on the ground.
It didn't do as bad as
No, they look pretty good.
Pretty good.
All right,
It's a longer
do you, I
wheelbase.
want to get back to the other side so
All
they
right,
can
go
see.
ahead.
Hi, Wells. All right, head on.
So that's one of the pluses of having the long machine. And one of the things that I would say is, if you're looking into these machines and you can afford the long wheelbase, I prefer the long wheelbase unless you are strictly rock crawling very slowly and you don't want that breakover angle down here. And as you can see, I've hit my bottom end in this and dented in my rock sliders and all kinds of stuff because I'm so long. But as far as the long machine, once you get your front over, it lets your back coast through. So it really helps with the agility of the machine. Now, if you had a two-seater on there, it would have come up a lot higher in the rear than it would with the four-seater. But I mean, it did really well. I felt about the same in both machines. So, you know, that'll give you an idea. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of people who get on the comments and say, oh man, it don't even matter because it's two-seater, four-seater. But there's a lot of people wanting to transition from these machines, and this is just what I had, guys. But it's still going to give you an idea if you've got these long machines. And we've got several other obstacle courses that we're going to take these through and show you. And one, I'm going to show you the maneuverability of the two just in comparison. You know, if you're looking at a 2-seater or a 4-seater, you know, 5-seater like that, it's a lot easier to maneuver this in the woods as it is that. Show you that just so you can see how nice this Xpedition cab is. My little girl's in a car seat. She's passed out in the back through this entire thing. Has zero cares. So if you got little kids, there's nothing better than this Xpedition cab. Low speed too. The clutching on this Xpedition is absolutely nuts, and I have slipped the far out of this belt 3 times. Majorly slipped it, like smelled it. I had to. I got in a tricky situation, but I'm gonna show you. I know I can't even turn that, but I'm just gonna show you guys.
Not so bad.
If you'll drive this machine, you can take it anywhere. You can take that one. It's just going to take a little bit more getting used to because this is such a Jeep feel. But I think that you guys that are wanting to transition and have the heat and cab, you know, with air and all that, once you get used to this, you'll never look back. Besides the power. The power in that RZR is nuts compared to this. This is geared so low, but I think they had to, one, it don't have the same horsepower, and two, it's so heavy that if they didn't gear it low, that it would probably smoke the belts a lot. But we'll see. We're gonna take them on up through here and put them in a lot harder situation. I'm a little bit quicker driver than my wife. She's a little more cautious, but she's learning every day more and more. This is honestly, for going through the woods fast, even without me driving this a whole lot, it's definitely easier to know where the sides of my machine are and everything in comparison to that Xpedition. Getting in and out of that Xpedition is a lot easier than this RZR is. I do like this RZR. We've got another drop off up here that the Xpedition always gets off camber, so we'll see how it does in this RZR. Is I've put rear sway bar shocks on the rear of this that you can see down in there, and that does help the suspension slightly on the rear of this. But like I said, it has less travel. I'll need you to video up here showing the camber of both of them. But I mean, you can see how much bigger all this shock and everything is on here, letting this, you know, go up and down much more. But we're gonna go down this, and I've got to swing hard in my Xpedition once I go straight out, and I've got to run one tire up on the dirt over there because I'm so long. So we'll see how both of them do and how far they get off camber. She'll be videoing from over here. Is this rear tire off the ground?
Oh yeah.
How far?
1.5 feet, 2 feet, real far. All right.
Now it's down.
Now it's down.
And to me, it's the perfect way to measure how they can get off camber. And in video, it doesn't look like nothing, but I mean, it's, you know, when you look at the top of that, it's up below my chest where it's at. So by the time your front gets down, and the way I go down it, I force them to go at an angle. And the reason you want to see that is because if you're on a hillside, these machines like this, in my opinion, out of all the machines I've had that are like sport utility, usually you can go sideways on a hill with them, but you try to go sideways on a hill with that, and they want to flip over. Like they're meant for straight line, and you know, you go to turn them and get them too off camber, and they want to teeter way up. But actually, I don't think that this is going to teeter any more than that one. But like I said, this is a longer machine, so keep that in mind when you're looking at both of these. Go on up through here, and I've got another spot that gets them both cattywampus. But so far, the Xpedition has did, and in filling wise, better than I thought it would. And you know, if this was in a 4-seater version, of course it would do even better. But the 2-seater version of this is longer than the 2-seater version of the Xpedition. Back up and give it a little harder throttle. Pull it back a little bit and give it a little more throttle. Whoa, whoa. Oh, he took that literal. He just held her to the floor. All right. Goodness. And I've been having this in sport. Full-wheel drive. We're going to take them both off this little embankment and then show them turning up that. So it's a lot harder for the Xpedition where it's longer because it kicks its front and rear up by the time you start to turn. And then when you start to come down, it's hard to get turned in there. Doesn't look like it in video, but we've been through there several times. She's a little nervous with that tree getting close to her. able to make that turn real easy. But you'll see in the Expedition, I've come close to flipping it right there in the Expedition. I can tell you that the power steering in this is nowhere near as nice as that Expedition is, and maybe they've updated it for 2025, but this steering wheel is a whole lot harder to make turns with in comparison to the Expedition. I mean, you can almost two-finger that Expedition the whole time. The power steering in it is so nice. And as far as I know, I think that Expedition and the Ranger 1500 is the only two so far with that power steering unit. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems so much simpler to maneuver the wheel when it gets in hairy situations. Kept going forward in that, this would have flipped over on its side. That's how close. You probably can't tell in video.
Oh, you can
tell. But I wasn't for sure if I wasn't going to flip right there, to be honest, because I thought, well, if I reverse it, it's going to stick me up further. But if I go forward, like this video, I just about flipped you guys. And see, I bottomed out right there.
Oh yeah.
I was sure I was flipping.
Like right when you're close, it's like he's got me nervous.
Willow's back there sleeping, you guys. Look at this. Oh, she woke up.
I guarantee it.
Calm as a cucumber. Hey, beautiful. Such a good machine for a family, but like I said, it's very top heavy. And one of the things is, with that much weight up top, there's a very fine line between it just pancaking and it actually, where that one, you know, it takes a whole lot more. And we just, you know, we're just going through, like I said, this is a creek bed, but that machine's long enough that when I try to go down in there, it's able to kick the rear end up so high from it being on that embankment. And I can't swing out any wider because my front end, if I swing out any wider, then I can't make the turn. So that's what I was saying in the first video, that the length of these two machines play very vast different roles. But if you know how to drive, you'll be just fine in an Expedition. The only time that it's really been a pain in the butt is in very teetery sideways scenarios. I don't like going uphill and having to turn through a ditch line going this way with the Xpedition at all. Like it does not like it, and you feel like you're about to flip the machine when you're doing that. So that's just one of them things that you just gotta learn to know where your tipping point is. Like I said, I was for sure, I'm telling you, it felt like I was about to flip right there, like I said, but I knew if I could get it to back up and slide my rear end over, I'd be fine. So you just have to know how to drive to get them out of them sticky situations. And you learn that the more you're in, you know, you come from this to that, the more you learn that, the easier it'll get. But that should give you guys a very, you know, vast view of the difference between these two, especially on suspension, because this has 32s, that has 32s. The only thing I've done is put them rear sway bar shocks on there, which did help a little bit. So if you get one of these, you can put rear sway bar shocks on it, giving your rear end a little bit more suspension travel. And I've got a link in a video on how to do that. I got a link in a video how to put all these lights I've got on there, everything in there. But we got some more coming after this. We got a race and a few other things just for you guys. My wife's super excited about that. Back up a little bit and straighten your tires. Turn your wheel as hard as you can the other way. There you go. Now give it some good gas. Go. There you go. Now turn your wheel. You go, girl. It's going to feel real teetery, but you're fine. No. Pull up on it. Pull up on it slowly. Hold on. Turn your wheels this way. Turn your wheels this way. Now go straight. I think she drove that better than I did. Don't tell her I said that. This is 181 horse, and that is 114, I think. We'll see how easy, and I know on video, this looks like nothing, and I'm not saying it's some catastrophic hill, but the defenders and stuff wouldn't hardly make it up this when we first made it, and it's got roots and stuff coming out of it now, so I would like to get a defender down here and see. That'd be awful. That'd be an awful expensive machine to flip over. But I'll show you on this. This will go up at no problem. It's going to have way more power. Can they see me?
Yep. That thing just felt like, I mean, I let out the top because it was going to jump out of it, but this Xpedition ain't going to do that, I'll show you. Ready? I did. I wore the thing. I was wearing it properly, hun.
All right, you ready?
Ready?